Growing up in a small town, I was determined to escape its limited opportunities. Through hard work and dedication, I miraculously managed to secure a place in an educational institution in the capital city. Finally achieving my dreams, I envisioned a stable income, a loving wife, and children. However, it was in the realm of love and relationships where I faced some disappointment. One fateful day, while jogging in the park, I twisted my leg and found myself in need of assistance. It was then that I noticed a woman sitting on a bench, engrossed in a book. Although I initially hadn't paid much attention to her, my injury forced me to seek help. Laika, as I would later learn her name, kindly came to my aid and hailed a cab to take me to the hospital. Since she lived nearby, she decided to accompany me. It was during this time that we exchanged phone numbers and bid each other farewell. Unexpectedly, Laika reached out to me a couple of times, sparking interesting and enjoyable conversations. Gradually, I found myself taking the initiative in getting in touch with her. Eventually, I mustered the courage to invite her to meet me again. Our meeting surpassed all expectations. Laika was an extraordinary young woman, intelligent, well-read, funny, and deeply genuine. Like me, she too had left her provincial roots behind, striving for a new and fulfilling life. It wasn't Laika's physical appearance that first captivated me. She possessed an understated simplicity that stood out from the other girls I had dated. Minimal makeup, lack of jewelry, and a modest sense of style. However, her true beauty radiated from within, and before I knew it, I had fallen deeply in love with her. It wasn't long before we exchanged vows and embarked on our journey together as husband and wife. Our wedding was a simple affair. Despite having the means to have a grand celebration, Laika insisted that we use the money for a wedding trip instead. It was her first time traveling abroad and being at sea, and she enjoyed it immensely. Initially, Laika started engaging in sports for the sake of company, but soon she became deeply involved in it. While I was happy for her, I never pushed her or emphasized anything. I was content with everything as it was. Laika took charge of managing the household and focused on her personal growth and education, while I cherished our marriage and enjoyed spending time with my wife. However, as time went on, Laika began to prioritize herself over our family and children. She started neglecting them and became a frequent visitor to fitness centers and beauty salons. I didn't have any strong objections to this, as with each passing month, Laika grew more beautiful, which brought me joy. The only sadness I felt was that she seemed to have stopped growing and developing as a person. Our conversations now revolved around our friends, acquaintances, and their materialistic pursuits. We rarely discussed literature, politics, or our past travels that used to captivate us. Every trip had to be photo-worthy, and the focus was solely on taking perfect pictures. Laika's interest seemed to be solely in appearances, and this troubled me. She showed no curiosity or enthusiasm for anything other than money, and it left me with a strange and even repulsive feeling. I grew tired of the superficial image she had adopted, but my love for her persisted. I hoped she would recognize that there was more to life than having a size 3 bust and a wrinkle-free face. Then, she began to suggest that I should visit a salon myself. This came as a shock to me. I took care of myself, exercising regularly, eating healthily, and avoiding smoking. But Laika wasn't satisfied with me. Gradually, her criticisms grew more frequent. My unfashionable hairstyle, the hair on my chest, and my outdated jacket style were all targeted jabs at my self-confidence. I had given her everything she desired, not just materialistically, and yet I was still lacking in her eyes. One day, she delivered the news that she was leaving me. She was tired of my insecurities, my long hours at work, and my moodiness. Additionally, my income did not meet her standards of living and the life she desired. This revelation caught me by surprise. It didn't take long for me to discover who this new man was that fit her requirements. While I didn't personally know him, we had some mutual friends. He was 5 years younger than me, a guy with a wealthy father and his family's fortunes to rely on. Their relationship had been ongoing for about 6 months now. I can't say that I was devastated, as Laika's departure provided some much-needed clarity. The divorce process was swift, And when they finally met, Lika attempted to humiliate me once more. However, the confrontation was short-lived. After 3 months of silence, I finally received a call from her. She was in tears, explaining that she had been thrown out and had nowhere to live. In that conversation, I was met with derogatory comments, being called stupid and vulgar, and told to return to my village. It seemed that she had discovered my true origins. Ironically, I almost found it amusing. The man wasn't as foolish as I initially believed. Despite that, I couldn't help but feel sorry for her. We were not strangers after all, and I decided to assist her in securing an apartment for the first time. However, it quickly became apparent that my kindness was a mistake. Lika's calls became incessant and demanding. I had to take measures to protect myself, blocking her number and informing my workplace to deny her access. I cannot say for certain how long she persisted in her attempts to reach me, but eventually she vanished from my life. It seemed evident that she struggled to find a stable job throughout that time, leading her to return to her home country.